Hey guys, welcome to Bobini Creates. My name is Jeannie and I wanted to work on a background in Jewelry Box by Hannah Karlzon. So I've colored this in with my Prismacolor Premier pencils and just a little bit of Posca on the gems. So what I wanted to do was to play with oil pastels. So I got a brand new set of oil pastels because I didn't love the one that I had just a tiny one that I didn't love. And this one here, it's a Light Wish oil pastel. It's softer, so I'm looking forward to using it. I've only swatched it, so this will be new for me as well. But my friend Davissa from DJ's Colorful Escape had recommended that, so I thought, you know what, let's give it a whirl. So, disclaimer, all I've really done with oil pastels is I've used them like with a dry brush technique, and I've used the Gamsol, which is what I've got poured into this little container, only sort of in practice on test pages. So this is going to be new to me as well. And so, you know, I'm learning. So, but I thought I'd bring you along as I learn. So let's go ahead and play a little bit. So what is this color? This is the Naples yellow. And I kind of just wanted to get this like close to the bug, I think, and then fan out a little bit here. Actually, maybe a little bit more of that. I don't want to get too much at a time. I don't want to get carried away. So we'll throw some of this down, and then I want to come in with what color? The sky blue, and just sort of mix that in as my plan. I just kind of want to fade it out a little bit. So I probably won't do this whole thing with you on camera, but what I want to do is I want to just sort of play with this a little bit, see how it goes, and I'll show you what it looks on the back side of this, which it'll look wet because of the Gamsol, but what I'll do is I'll let it dry and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all finished, just so you can make a decision if it's a product that you want to use or not. So that color was light blue and then cobalt blue for this last color. So I'm just kind of wanting to fade in a little bit. So let's see. This is my experiment. So we're going to dip a little bit in here. I think what I'll do, and I've got a board under here, by the way, just so that I'm not damaging the page underneath when I'm doing this. So I'm just using a little bit, and I want to just sort of get close to the bug. Now, and I think what we're going to find out is like right here, a little bit of that's coming through from the other page, but when it dries, I'm pretty sure that that will disappear, you know, as it dries. So I'm just going to use the paintbrush to get kind of close is the idea here. And because this was a new technique for me to, well, I've practiced, but it was new to me, I kind of went through and I found a video by Karen Valentine, and she used these on a page that I thought was just really cool. Not these particular oil pastels, but the oil pastel Gamsol technique. You know what? I'm going to stop here a second. I'm going to use my finger. And this is what she did, and so I thought I would just sort of see how it goes for me. So what she did is she used the Gamsol. I had forgotten when I started to get it over here, but she used it just to get close to the illustration with the paintbrush, and then she sort of used her finger, for the most part, you know, to sort of dry blend it. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And you know what? I'm really excited about these oil pastels being softer, because that's what I couldn't do on the last time I had tried it. It wasn't smoothing out with my fingers. So I'm really excited about these being a softer variety, so I can kind of get in there better and play. And it seems to be working okay. And I love that I love what Karen did in just using enough to get close to the image so you're not overdoing the Gamsol, and then coming in and doing the blending as dry blending, whatever that looks like to you. So I'm just going to kind of do this and see what happens. And then what she did is she blended it out, and then, you know, like you may see that if it needs a little help, you can come in here with your Gamsol and help it along a little bit. But that's not bad. And like she came back over it from time to time as she saw that she needed like a different, you know, color in there to blend it out and morph it as she needed to. And so that's what I anticipate having to do here. So, and you can also, this set came with quite a few whites as well, like extras. So I feel like this blue is not quite as smudgy. So I'm going to kind of do that and see if that helps. And I lost my train of thought. Well, that's always good. But anyway, I'm liking it. I am liking it. So I think, let me play with that a little bit and I'll come back. Hop back in here for a second. I remembered what I was going to say, and that is, I started to say the set comes with some extra whites, which is nice because I noticed what she did is she went back in, and as she needed to lighten a little bit, she just went over it with the white oil pastel. And I'll try to remember to link her video in the description below, so she's awesome anyway, but really enjoyed this particular video. So here, the reason I chose the yellow instead of the blue is I just didn't want to lose my little delicate little crystals coming in here with the blue. So I figured, you know, if I come in with just a really light yellow, I can sort of maintain these crystals, and so that's how I came up with a color choice, and then I can fade it out to the blue was my thinking. So hopefully that was some good logic. So, okay, so let me finish up here, and I'll be back with you. Thanks. So I'm back from doing just a light layer of the lightest oil pastel, the yellow, and the Gamsol to blend it in. And then to show you the underside of that, actually, let me move this. I have too much stuff going on here. I'm not really seeing any bleed through. This is pretty nice thick paper. I thought maybe I'd see some not bleed through, but like some wetness from the Gamsol, but which I've seen that on other coloring book pages. But yeah, it seems to be okay. So I think now I'm going to come in with these blues. So, oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is that there's maybe there's some little tiny areas that I didn't get in that tight, but I'm not stressing about that because I always know that I can get in there tighter with my pencils. You can usually do a pretty good match with your pencils on anything that you're using, like, you know, the gel sticks or anything like that. You can usually kind of get a good match. That way you don't have to worry about getting in as tight as, you know, you might normally do. Okay, so just kind of spreading that around a little bit. And then I feel like, where did my yellow go? I feel like I could probably maybe come over that a little bit, and it maybe might make green, but I might be able to soften that a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of flexible, isn't it? So that's not bad, and I don't mind if it adds a little bit of blended color. If I can just sort of make a nicer transition, I think that's good. Let's come in with a little bit darker. See how that goes. These are much smoother than what I had before. I am amazed at the difference. It makes this a pleasure to work with, where I was not enjoying those before. So this is kind of fun. Kind of reminds me of being back in, you know, kindergarten or something, where you're using your fingers to do finger paintings and that kind of thing. I am all about that. That's fine. I don't mind getting a little messy. I did wash my hands in between doing the yellow and then starting this just because I didn't want to, I don't know, I just felt like I had some of that Gamsol transferring a little bit onto my hands as I would, I mean, not really, but a little bit as I touch the container, you know, I feel like I got a little on there. So I think it doesn't hurt to keep your hands clean. And I also have a little baby wipe here, you know, that from time to time I can wipe my fingertips off so that I'm not making a bigger mess than necessary. Or like right there, that looks like that's a little, you know, maybe I want to blend that out a little bit more. Maybe I'll make it worse. Yeah, it kind of looks like I'm getting a little bit of a bloom going on here. Let's see if we can work that out. Yeah, I made a little bit of a mess. Okay, fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to see what happens if we come in with the Gamsol and see if we can fix that a little bit. And I try not to use very much, so I'll pat that off. But I don't know if that's a help or not. Does not appear to be a wonderful help. But you know what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to try to sort of paint it over there a little bit and not worry about it too much. She used hers pretty liberally, kind of, you know, like in a painting technique. See, that's okay. See, I feel like with this you can sort of fix little snafus. So see here, I made a little snafu again, but I can kind of blend it out. This is sort of fun. It is a bit of work, I think, but it's okay. It's kind of fun. And then the other thing that Karen had pointed out was that your pages don't buckle when you use that. So it is another benefit, which is kind of cool. I hadn't even thought about that as a benefit, but that's true. We're so used to using, you know, watercolors and Neo2s and those kinds of things that you have to add water to. And they do buckle a little bit. Not so bad on these nicer coloring bit pages, but a little bit, you know. Okay. Oh, there, I just learned something. So if it starts to sort of have a little bit of a buildup with one finger, I can go in there with a finger that's cleaner and smear it. Okay, I'm learning as I'm going here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue, and I'll be back. Okay, so I just learned something else kind of fun, and that is that apparently paper towels are a pretty useful tool. I don't know, I just thought, you know, let's try to smooth it with that, and it did a pretty decent job. Let me kind of show you what I mean. So let me move this up here a little bit so you can see. So I might be able just to start by smearing this with my paper towel, but I'm going to start with, you know, doing my old technique with my finger here. And then when I feel like I'm starting sort of getting that, I'm going to call it bloom, kind of like we do with wax bloom, you know, with the pencils. When I feel like I'm sort of starting to get that, what I did is I came in with a paper towel and I just smoothed it out with that. And I like the look of that. That's a lot smoother. And then once I realized that that worked, then I kind of came over and I smoothed some of this as well. So I have a feeling we probably want to work in smaller pieces like I've been doing, just because I think this may, I don't know, get harder to move. At least I'm guessing that it might, if we work in too big of areas. So at least that's what I'm assuming, and that's why I'm kind of doing little bits at a time. Plus, I guess I also don't need to, you know, make a bigger mess than necessary and have to get my hands in, you know, areas. Like if I have it all over the page, it's going to make working on the page more difficult, isn't it? You know. Okay, let me try something. So if I don't use my finger here a second, we just use the paper towel. You know what? That is really nice. Okay, maybe that's what I do. I like that maybe better. I feel like it's a nicer tool even than just without the paper towel, you know, over my finger a little bit. So either way, I guess it's really probably a personal preference. But anyway, I just wanted to pop in here to tell you that as I was working through my page. Neat little discoveries in this experiment. Okay, so I'll be back. So for this last little bit, I went ahead and I put some painter's tape down on this other side, just because otherwise I'm not going to be able to get in the spine of the book very good. So this is the final bit, and I feel like it's really looking pretty good. So I'll just do the best I can to get, you know, kind of work this in the spine. And then the only thing after that is I want to, I'll put a workable fixative on it, and then I want to go in with just a little bit of pencil work. I can see just a little bit of areas where I could get a little bit closer with the yellow, you know, and there's some awesome Prismacolors that would enable me to kind of get a pretty good match, I feel like, to get in a little closer to the bugs. And then here in these little bits, probably just, I don't know yet, white Posca or maybe some gel pen. I haven't decided yet, but getting there. Actually, you know what? I'll keep that same color here. It actually went together pretty well. I'm pleased, and I feel like it's looking pretty good. This right here looks like I got a little closer to my bug than I wanted to. I don't know if I can. Yeah, it looks like that's kind of set, but that's okay. I mean, I'm not really minding it. The other thing I learned in that video that I had watched from Karen Valentine is she said that, she demonstrated that you could actually go over it with pencil. So you can actually go over this with pencil. So that's encouraging too. So if you needed to do anything like what I'm talking about here, getting in a little bit closer, I feel like, you know, now that I know from her that I can go over that oil pastel, I'm in a good place to sort of do the finishing touches on it. Okay, this is kind of a fun little technique to get in close, but doing the best I can. So we'll do that, and then I'm just gonna, I'm gonna use that paper towel like we did before, and just try to rub that out. Pardon my arm, sorry about that. And again, if I don't like the look of it, I feel like it's, you know, too light or too dark or something, I can go over it with more oil pastel. So this is kind of the end of it. I feel like it's looking pretty good. Okay, so yeah, I kind of feel like I could smooth that out here. Let's try the lighter color blue and see if that helps at all. That was, maybe I accidentally put down the wrong color of oil pastel, I don't remember, but let's just see. I think I'm just gonna not try to rub too hard on that, so that I'm kind of more doing little swipes at it. Yeah, so that pigment stays in place a little bit. And I'll bet if I wanted to, I could even go over it a little bit after it's dried a bit, and probably that might enable it to stay put a little bit, perhaps. But overall, I feel like it was a successful first attempt, you know, at trying this for a whole background, you know. The only other, like I said, the only other whole background that I did with it before was, you know, that dry brush technique. So I feel like this isn't bad. I know we used the darkest color here, but I'm going to use the mid-tone here just to sort of get in a little bit. Pardon my arm again. and just doing a little bit of swiping here. You know what? Honestly, I'm going to call that good. I am. I'm not going to fuss with it too much as I continue to fuss with it. That's kind of what I do. I don't know why I do that. Okay, so that's that. And then we can just remove this painter tape. Actually, you know what I'd like to do is find my little baby wipe. Actually, we'll get a new baby wipe. And because I really don't want to accidentally touch something. So let's clean off my hands. And if this feels at all like it's sticking, you can always use a drying tool. No, it feels like it's fine. Your drying tool or hair dryer or something to sort of heat it up a little bit, and it'll peel off a lot easier. But that's the beauty of this painter tape, is it comes off pretty easy. Or you can use washi, you know, but this is a good tape to use. So there we have it. I'm going to call that good. Just know that I'm going to go in, like I mentioned, with the pencil and clean it up a little bit. So thanks for joining me. It was fun to sort of experiment and play a little bit and get to use my new oil pastels. And I feel like going forward, I can see myself doing this again for especially backgrounds. I feel like it's really pretty, and it is kind of a nice soft look. So, and not too complicated. It's a little more work than some things, but I like it. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, I hope you'll like it and subscribe. That would mean a lot to me, and I will see you on my next video. Thank you. Bye now.